This is Elijah Khasabo, and you're listening to the Matt Balaker Podcast.
Today's guest is an entrepreneur who knows a thing or two about the creator economy. He's a 20-something founder of Vidovo, a user-generated and influencer platform. Please welcome Elijah Khasabo to the program. How are you doing, Elijah?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think you're the first guest we've had who's been in the middle of a move while in college and running a user-generated content company. So congratulations on that accolade, Elijah.
So yeah, I'll keep that accolade. That's a good one.
You should. It's next to the Forbes 40 under 40. You'll put that up there with that.
Oh yeah.
But I know you didn't start off as this entrepreneurial college student. You had other jobs before that. So where did you grow up, Elijah?
So I grew up in Framingham, Massachusetts for about a quarter of my life. Ended up moving to Ashland, did a lot of school there. And then right before high school, I moved to Northborough. So I've been around. I basically went to 3 different school districts. The interesting thing, though, it taught me just how to adapt to new environments because all 3 of those towns, if you look them up, they're all different types of people, right? And I've always been used to being the new kid, even like transferring into college, right? Like I basically came from community college to a university. So it's being in a new environment all over again, right? So I've always been good at adapting. And I think that's just been a skill I've been able to pick up on. But yeah, I'm originally from Framingham. I'm now living in Northborough, but currently at UMass Amherst.
So he's an East Coaster, and we've had a lot of people recently from the Maryland area, and they talk about crab cakes. What is your favorite, call it, New England food?
It's so funny because people here love like lobster, crab cakes. People just love seafood. I'm like the pickiest eater. I'm like awful when it comes to menus and stuff. I think the easiest way to tell my age is actually by the way I order food because I'll look at a menu and I won't know what to get. I'll just see like chicken fingers. Like I'm like a very basic, but I've heard great things about the lobster rolls here, so that's something I would recommend, but not personally from myself though. So
Elijah's friends recommend a good lobster roll if you're visiting. You brought up a good point. You had to move schools several times.
yeah,
And, my dad was in the Marines, but he stopped before, I was of an age where we had to move a lot. So I didn't really experience the military brat lifestyle. And that seems like very challenging, but also a way to build resiliency. I mean, what was your experience?
I would say by the time I moved to high school, like it was a whole new different environment. I wasn't excited for it. It kind of came out of nowhere. Like my brother and I, we didn't want to move. Like we were dreading it, but we were put in a position where we had to move. So it was something new, like a whole new world basically, right? But I was able to meet some friends. I've always naturally been a social person, like outgoing. So I never really struggled with making new friends. It typically takes me a couple of days to really settle in, like, read the environment, just see how people are. But I would say it is difficult, right? I would say honestly, right before high school was probably the best time to actually move schools. I think like after your sophomore, junior year of high school, everyone already has like solidified friend groups. So
Yeah.
after that, it gets a really tough. So for example, I transferred into UMass Amherst the second semester of junior year, right? I try like the first 3 days, like just trying to naturally meet people, and it's so hard if you don't know anybody, right? Especially on a big campus like this. So luckily, I had friends from before college, and I had friends of friends who introduced me to more people. So like it naturally came on. But when that happened, I could say like it was actually very tough. Like I can see like I had friends who actually transferred into our high school like junior, senior year. I'm like, man, like it is hard for these guys. Like I can see it now, especially in college. So like it can be tough, but I just always try to be positive about it and see like what's the most I can get out of it. I would hate to be in my dorm room every day doing nothing. So I was like, I have to do something. So that's why I would just go out and, fight it anyways.
You'd fight it anyways. Or what advice would you give to kids or young adults who are going to be the new kid at a school?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say be open. The biggest piece of advice, I actually got this from a friend before I actually it was like 2 weeks before I transferred in, and she said follow up. Like just in the game of sales, like it's all about following up. And when she said, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right. Like I do this like in my, real work. It's like I need to follow up when I'm actually there. So like when you meet someone, follow up with them the next day, like, hey, like, would love to hang out again or whatever it is, right? So be opening to following up because when you put yourself in that position, they're, especially when you're newer, they're they feel more inclined to help you, especially if you developed a great relationship with them. Luckily, one of my friends who introduced me to everyone here, like I knew him in middle school. Like so at the second school I was at, and he was like one of my best friends. So he just was introducing me to everybody. I'll never forget like the third day, he's like, okay, you're good now. Like you can have your fun. And we still hang out from time to time. But following up with him, hanging out with him, like finding your crowd and having them introduce you and being open to meeting new people is probably like the best advice I could give. Just be curious and open.
Be curious and open. So it's kind of like business or dating. It's not the
Yeah.
initial pickup; it's the follow up that's important. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good advice. What was your first job?
I worked at Apex Entertainment. It was a like entertainment center where it's just for kids, like video games, all go-karts, bowling, and I was just like an associate there. This is pre-COVID, and it was like like pre-COVID work versus post-COVID. It's so interesting to me, right? Like it was so different. The energy was just different. Like everybody was there, everybody was outside. But yeah, I was just kind of just doing my thing there. This is my sophomore year of high school. It was like 15, $16 an hour. It was a pretty good job. I learned how to deal with people. I had fun doing it. And it was also pretty cool to see like I could, actually make money from doing something. So that was exciting.
Yeah, dealing with people is often the most difficult part of a job.
Yeah.
What tips do you have when it comes to dealing with people?
Um, this took me a while to learn because I was very hard headed. But I think being able to see, I think the biggest thing people need to get over is like being able to be around someone you disagree with. Like
Mhm,
being able to see in their lens and instead of being like, getting mad at them why they think like that, more be like, why don't you ask them why they think like, why don't you actually learn from them and see their perspective and see from their lens, right? So I've learned like just be able to, be open, read people authentically, right? Just, hear everything you can. And it kind of comes back to being curious because at the end of the day, you have to learn how to drop your ego and just be able to learn from anybody, right? Because you never know what doors someone could open. You never know what note they could teach you, right? I've learned a lot from so many people I didn't expect to learn from. But it was the fact that I was open. It was the fact that I was curious, right? And I was, willing to actually speak to them and hear them out, whether I disagree or agreed with them, right? But I think that allowed me to just become naturally a good networker in general. Like I'm open to chatting with almost anybody, right?
mhm.
So that's kind of what I would say on that point. Yeah.
You're very wise because it's easy to combat someone with a different point of view, and especially if you're on the clock.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a good idea to say calm down. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. I mean, depends on the context, right? But
Okay.
yeah, I would say for sure. Yeah.
So when it comes to empathy and putting yourself in someone's shoes, how has that helped you kind of advance in your career?
I've learned very quickly, like life is tough and you will get humbled. It happened to me like almost out of nowhere, but it's allowed me to develop as a character. But I really think being able to put yourself in someone else's situation, like I said, just being able to view other perspectives and lens, right? It's all like a learning thing to me, right? And I'm
Mhm,
still learning till this day. I'm still a young fan. I'm still learning from other people. Even like, when we're building Vidovo, like yes, I may be scrappy, I may be the founder of it, but I don't know how to manage people that well. I'm still getting better at managing people. It's taking me some time. The role of CEO, like I'm still learning how to be that. I don't really call myself that, like going by the word founder. I think that's a little bit better. Right.
mhm,
Um, I look at it more of like just learning why they're doing it, how they're doing it, what can you learn from it, what can you take from it, what advice can you give back to them, what advice could they potentially give to you, right? And
mhm,
the best way to do that is by being open, right? So, like, this is all kind of coming back to just being an open individual. It's just kind of weird 'cause I don't want to stray everything back to one point, but that's
mhm.
really the truth to how I'm viewing life. Is like when I'm in someone else's shoes, that's the best way to think about it.
I like that. Be an open individual, and you brought up a good point. You talked about humbling experiences. I think people like humble individuals. No one likes the guy who got everything handed to him and then became a billionaire overnight and never had a setback.
Well, sure.
What are some examples of being humbled that you really learned from?
I would say the first humbling experience that really like hit me was as noted to before, I've always been a social individual. going from high school to not going to college at all, right, was a big hit on me because I was like, okay, life hits you like that. It's like, okay, you're the only kid not going to college. Everyone's talking about college. Everyone's like, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? And they ask me, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm taking a gap year. Right. So it kind of stressed me out to the point, and I'll never forget, there's only a couple people who knew this, to the point where like I was applying to like 40 like sales, like 20 sales jobs a week, right? I was applying to so many jobs, assistant jobs, or whatever I could get over that summer going into like that first college year. Cause I'm like, man, like everyone has their life together but me. Right. I went from like,
You're 18 and you don't have it all figured out. What the hell?
I know, I went from being at this all-time high of like thinking like everything was gonna be okay to be like, oh wait, like maybe it won't be okay. Right.
Mhm.
And I'll never forget, and this story kind of plays into how I was humble. I'll never forget, I was on my last job interview. This was in August, and it was for a door-to-door sale. So it was not the most difficult job to get, right? But the guy said on the call, because I told him about my previous experiences in high school, because I did build like a Discord community for stock and crypto traders. That was semi-successful. He was like, if you've done stuff like that, like why wouldn't you want to, continue to build or continue to create? It was something around, I don't know exactly what he said, but he basically said like, if you did that, why you want to work here? And I'll never forget. I'm like, "What? This guy's right." So I emailed him the next day and I said, I'm not going to work with you guys. I'm going to figure something out." And I tried like 8, maybe 9 different business ideas. Nothing was working. I was probably at an all-time low because I'm just sitting at home. I have no money. I literally have nobody to talk to besides my girlfriend at the time and my mom, because my brother was also at school. So it's like I really had no one around me to really like complain about this stuff. And no one my age could relate to it because everyone was at college. All my close friends were at college. And it's like when I spoke to most of them, it's like they're like, well, you should probably go back or do something and this and that. I ended up doing community college. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna plan this out, do 2 years community, 2 years university, which is I'm finishing up this year. But
Mhm.
it was so humbling because it's like I went from like having the time of my life, going out, just doing whatever I wanted, to just being at an all-time low when you pretty much have nothing and nobody. And it's kind of like no one's coming to save you, right?
Yeah.
Besides yourself. So I could have just, complained and cried about it every single day. It's like, okay, maybe I just do something. So it's humbling to know like you can go from like up here all the way to down here that quick. And
Mhm.
I just learned like I think that's when I truly learned like what life was about. And I truly believe it's about bettering oneself. And it's like, okay, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to better? Because if I can better myself, I can better those around me too. So yeah, that was such a humbling time. It was awful, but
Well,
I learned from it.
you need to have stories when
Yeah.
you're speaking at a Harvard commencement in 25 years. You need to have some hard times. So you have your downtrodden story that you came back from. But how did you better yourself during that time?
I started to read the Bible. I've had a Christian family growing up, but I was never really serious about it. Like I've always believed there was a God, there was a creator,
Mhm.
but I became more Christian in that way. I started to just watch YouTube videos and just learn,
Mhm.
right? Like what is business? And I had a business prior, like in high school, so I kind of knew the fundamentals. And I started to work for people for free. Like
Mm.
it's like it all comes back to learning, like just being able to drop your. I think the biggest thing was dropping my. I had an ego. It's like how can I drop my ego and just be willing to learn from anybody? And I would work for people for free. It was awful. I wouldn't recommend it. Maybe at times like that, but it allowed me to like learn how to work with other people, learn what they're doing, how they're running their businesses, what I can take away from it. Um, in my free time, I try to hit the gym. That fell flat fairly quick. But yeah, it was. I didn't really have that much because as college was going on, obviously everyone is more invested into their new friends.
Mhm.
Right, and they're typically coming back to meet with it when they're coming back from school, they're coming back to meet with their old friends, but typically the old friends they're meeting with are the ones that are also investing in meeting new friends. So they're all talking about their new lives. And to me, it's like I didn't really have anything new. So I'd actually avoid going to hangouts on purpose because I was so embarrassed to be like, well, I'm not making any money. I'm working for free. I'm doing this. I tried like closing this huge deal with like some sport betting company, like a sport betting community, not company. That fell flat. Like there's so much I tried to do. Okay, I'm not gonna go and tell these people about my lives. Like I'm embarrassed, right? So that was like the hardest thing for me to realize. Looking back, I wish I just went and I was just myself. But yeah, I just tried to always just be active. Like, just try to just do something every single day. Like there was no more weekends to me. It was like every
Mhm.
day I'm just it's a new day, right? There was no looking forward to like the next day. So I just kept on working on anything.
So you had the entrepreneurial mindset, the Mamba mentality, as we say
Yeah.
in California. You brought up a lot of important points. It kind of reminded me of, if you're getting nervous about a Thanksgiving dinner because your cousin just bought a yacht and started his fourth company, and it's like we all try to almost like horse race, like get ahead of someone next to us, and, and
Yeah.
and and feel good. But then you also started reading the Bible, and in a sense, that's like the opposite. Like you really humbled yourself
Yeah.
and kind of took a bigger picture. And I know Mark Wahlberg said when he put God first, his career improved, and that
Yeah.
wasn't his goal. It was
Yeah.
just like sometimes it's important to remember all the things that we care so much about
Yeah.
are meaningless. Like how did kind of looking outside your immediate kind of perimeter and reading the Bible and increasing your spirituality. How did that change your life?
I prayed every day. I prayed 3 times a day. Like it was, I'd pray almost over everything. And I'll never forget. I'd always ask for strength at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. I'd always like ask God, like, God, I ask for strength. Get me through these times. And weirdly enough, like life just got worse as I was asking for strength. And looking back, I get it. But at the time, why is this getting so hard? Why am I losing this? Like, why is this not working? I'm asking you for strength. But I realized he was molding me in the process. Like that was the strength he was giving me. For example, when I lost my first client, I basically cried. I lose a client now, it's like, okay, whatever. Like, let's go get 10 more. Right. So it's like I was being molded into this new individual. Like when I was asking for strength, he was developing me as a character, whether that's mental strength, physical strength. Like I was able to actually grow as an individual. In the moment, I didn't get it. I really didn't, but I'm so thankful looking back that I just kept my faith strong and kept going regardless of things going bad. Like things would get worse and worse and worse. I'm like, why is it not getting better? And then it's like, as things get better, it's like, I'm very thankful. I'm so
Mhm.
thankful that I kept my faith strong and kept my trust in him. And I truly believe I walk by faith, not by sight. Like there was no
Right. And
sight of anything positive, but I knew that if I kept my faith strong and kept my faith in him, that times would get better eventually, and it ended up getting better. So thankfully, I did that.
you became stronger, and now when you have successes, you can look back on the times you lost your clients, and it's that much sweeter.
Yeah,
I want to learn about how your company started. What's the origin story of Vidovo?
yeah, of course. So when I was obviously after high school, I was trying so many different business ideas, like almost everything. Nothing was working, and I started drop shipping. So I had about 2 to 3 drop shipping brands. The first 2 flopped, awful. Third one was all right. So in high school, I actually ran a Discord community. I grew it to 30,000 people all through affiliate marketing, right? So
Wow.
all through TikTok affiliate marketing. And I was making some pretty good cash. So it was a lot of money to have like at that age. Um, but I thought I followed that same model. Okay, I want to grow my brands, like my drop shipping brands, like with this same model, like pay people based off what they can generate, right? Nothing up front. And I struggled to find good creators, right? Because the ones I did find that could do that model just weren't good, and the ones that I couldn't, I couldn't afford most of them too as well. Like so that was my biggest problem. And I'll never forget. I came across this creator, and he was like, "Hey, it's $50 for the video." I'm like, "Okay, this is perfect. Like, okay, $50. I'll pay him out." Right? He's like, "No, I need the money now, like up front." I'm like, No, that's not how this works. Like, I pay you after you generate me sales." He's like, "No, it's UGC. Like, it's new. Like, you buy the video, you keep it. Mind you, this was stolen video. It wasn't even his video. Right? It's stolen video. I didn't know this. Right? He's like, you get the video, and you get to keep it and do whatever you want with it, and I'll also manage the account." Okay. Then I was like, whatever. I'm done arguing with him. Let's just do it. That $50 video turned into 15 million views organically. And in my head, I was like, forget this shitty product. It was like a doorstop. It was the stupidest product ever. Why don't you go sell videos to other people? And it was playing in my head for like over a month and a half. Like it was like from the end of September to I think around Thanksgiving breakish. And I just wanted to like really do this, but I couldn't do it because my biggest problem was like I was still young. Right. I was 19 at this time, I believe. And I truly believe no creator would believe me to like be their agency owner or like to be their creator manager. And I still have the emails out to this day. Like, hey guys, like I used to run this Discord. I did this and that. I was like, it was all bullshit. Right. And I was like, okay, let me partner up with somebody. So I ended up partnering up with somebody who was like an e-com influencer. They're pretty big on TikTok. Everyone knew them. She was an awesome girl. And I was like, okay, I can have her be the face of the agency while I'm just doing everything on the back end, because everyone's gonna believe her and want to work with her, and she can just sell. And she was down to do it. And then we did it. We partnered up. We got the creators on a Zoom call. I emailed like 600 of them. I got cussed out by a lot because they didn't know what UGC was, and they mistaked it for something completely different. 35 of them got back to me. About 13 hopped on the Zoom call, and I think 11 moved forward with me. I think it was around some numbers like that. She was the one speaking on the Zoom call, explaining everything. I told her, like, hey, this is how it should be ran, this and that. 2 weeks later, she just goes ghost. So now it's like, okay, I'm stuck with these creators who, by the way, I didn't have my camera on that Zoom call. Like, they don't know what I look like. They don't know who, they just know who I am. I'm stuck with these 13, 11 creators, whatever it was. My co-founder just left out of nowhere. Now I have to convince these people to trust me. It was just this whole like big mess up. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what made me do it, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try. I ended up removing her from the group chat because it was like a text chat, which is like so funny because that's like so, it just didn't make sense then. And I told like straight up, hey guys, like it's just gonna be me from now on. I'm gonna do my best to like make this like, legit and make this work. Like Audrey's not gonna be with us, sadly. Like if you have any questions, let me know. If you'd like to leave, that's totally okay. One person left right after. that was okay. At least one's is better than 5, right? And yeah, these girls, it was like 13 girls. They all trusted me to like be their like influencer manager, and I would sell them like video. I would sell their video packages to other like small brands. So I'd sell videos. Like I remember my first video, I sold it for like $15, $20. It was like probably one of the worst videos ever. It was like she was literally in the car. You couldn't even see her, and she's just talking and reading a script. It was awful. But we sold it. It was like, okay, that's my first sale. Then one of my best friends was actually a creator in the agency too. Like he was the only guy. I'm like, yo, come create content for me. So it's like, it started off as this agency would sell videos like $20, then 30, then 50, then 70. Then we got to 100 until someone approached me who was a software engineer, and he's building this app, who's not my co-founder today. And he was so impressed by the way I sold him on the call. I'll never forget. He asked me like, how old are you? I said, I'm 19. And he was just in shock. We actually spoke about this the other day, funny enough. And he gave me like the whole story background, because I only knew like bits and parts of how he was thinking. And he was like, yeah, I was just so impressed. Like I was like, screw the app. I want to work with this guy. Because if there's a 19-year-old handling this, like why wouldn't, like that's just something, right? So we partnered up, we just vibed, and he's like, so I like to call it the entrepreneur engineer dynamic. Like we're both co-founders, obviously. Like I'm the entrepreneur, I'm going out there getting brands, whatever. He's building the whole thing, right? So we partnered up. At first, it's funny because I was so iffy. Like I actually didn't want to do it at first. I was so keen on being a solo founder. I'll never forget. He was like, I'll have you like a working landing page in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, whatever. He had it to me in 2 days. So anyone who knows like software, fairly fast to get like a working functional landing page of like a tech agency product. And this is when there was no AI, like to code. Like there also AI, but there was it was very limited. We partnered up, and then SaaS was also very humbling. Like that SaaS, like it took 6 months to make the amount of money I did in 2 months with my agency, right? So very hard to build a marketplace, to build a creator side and the brand side. But that's how we started off, and I would just cold pitch on email. I was learning how to sell. I was learning how to be an actual, founder of a software company. It was a lot, but we are here now, so I can't complain.
Congratulations. And what do you think makes a good salesperson?
I tried so many different things. I used to put my hair up, take my earrings out, put a button-up shirt on, and be like, okay, I have to be like this polished guy. Then I realized I'm not even being myself. I was so blinded by like what the internet and what people were perceiving, like, as a young black male, you need to do this, you need to do that. I was kind of like, F that. Like, I'm just going to be myself. And being myself worked. I think like people need to just be authentic. Like, just be you. Like, I hate when a salesperson comes up to me and just pitching right away. It's like, dude, chill. Like, back away. Like, I sell by building relationships. I believe in relationship first. The sale will come after. I know we have a good enough product that if I can just develop a relationship with that individual, even if I'm not even pursuing, like most of the time, I'm not even pursuing for business, right? Like our sales cycle, sometimes they can be like 9 months. But I've developed such a relationship over those 9 months, sending value, sending key insights, hopping on calls, whatever it is. And once they're on for a long time. Like they're on forever. So it's like I will always focus on building relationships. And I think every salesperson should note that. And I truly, truly believe Gen Z, like my part of the generation, as we move into the workforce, that's one thing I think we're going to be really good at is like knowing how to develop relationships. Because we grew up on social media. We grew up like in a very pivotal time. We were like in the forefront of COVID. It's like we were forced to know like people, right? And I think that played a big factor. And like moving schools and being able to like this, like I feel like a lot of it was set up for me to be able to know relationships always come first. So that's my biggest advice I would say, to be the
Right.
salesperson.
When you were a junior moving schools, you probably didn't think, "Oh, this is gonna help me in my sales skills years from now." So it's kind of funny how the puzzle
Yeah,
pieces
It-
piece.
yeah. It's like I don't know. I think you just gotta go out there and do you as a sales guy. And I think the more you're yourself, the better. I love to work with people that I like, right? It's just fun that way. And yeah,
It's not work if you like who you're around generally. Uh,
correct.
you you mentioned that you sold these videos initially for $15 and the prices went up.
Yep.
On the earlier sales, Elijah, what did the customer do with them? Because the videos were already made, right? They would go to a brand and then they like put their
No,
logo
so
on it or
the videos were made after the purchase. So they would
oh,
purchase like
gotcha. Okay.
we're gonna buy 5 videos for like what $500. Let's just go at 100 each. Um, I would then get to ship the product out to the creator. The creator would then make the video. So at the time we were selling videos for like 20, $30. I mean, I will say yes, those 13 creators were my OGs, but they were awful to work with. Like they made my life so hard. Like, it was just ridiculous. But I'm very thankful for it because I know like when we were building Vidovo, I know like what makes a good creator, what makes a bad creator. And not to discredit them, I think they all knew this, but working with like they're great people. Working with bad creators though taught me, okay, now I know like what's good and what's bad right away. Whereas if I worked with 13 good creators in the beginning, I mean it would have been a whole different story, right? So yes, content would be purchased, and typically that brand is putting that content on their own marketing channels, right? So it's going on Meta ads, TikTok ads, or maybe it's posted organically.
Okay. So what makes a good creator versus a bad one?
There's so much to it. I would say the easiest way to tell is how they communicate. They're like putting if there's too much going like when I read emails and it's like 4 paragraphs, I'm looking for it. Like when it's too much, I'm like, they might be good, but like I don't want to deal with a creator like that. Like let's just be straight to the point. Let me see your work examples. I truly believe the easiest way to tell is how's their content performed in the past, which you can obtain by asking them. How does their work, what's their portfolio look like, which you can also obtain by asking them, and what is their typical turnaround time? I think those are like the three easiest like factors to tell like who's a good creator and who's not. I can typically tell just based off a video example. And my next step is, okay, cool. You have good video examples. Now, are you actually easy to work with? Because I know creators who make great content, but they'll get you the content like 2 months later. I also know great creators who will make great content, but they'll get the content to you within 5 to 10 days, which is what we strive to deliver at. So you need to just not just be a good creator, you need to be a good communicator. And it's like, are you just creating the video? Or are you actually doing research? Like, are you looking into what other brands have done? It really comes down to, there's so many factors to it, but I would say those three are like the main three I look at when reviewing a creator.
Nice. And I want to zoom out a bit, Elijah, because years ago, or maybe generations ago, marketing and advertising was quite different. I was thinking like the TV model. You'd pay millions for commercials, and then the internet came, and you'd have pop-up ads, which were super annoying. And then now you might have X posts that are sponsored, but it seems like it's going more organic. But I want to hear from you. How do you anticipate the future of advertising to look like?
That's a great question. I do believe video will be more important as we've seen it grow over the past 2 years. I'm obviously a little bit more biased for that from selling video. But if you want to know my actual opinion, I think what's going to be super interesting is like the shopping experience, like
Mhm.
especially online shopping and incorporating AI into that. I think we're going to get to a point where it's like I go on a website, I don't want to wait for, does this fit me? Do you have this in stock? Like I want the AI to just know right away, like here it is. Here's the exact link. I found it for you in 2 seconds. So it's like, how will AI be incorporated into like the shopping experience? I think would be huge.
Mhm.
And another thing I want to note is our consumers are getting a lot smarter. So they're able to tell when an ad's an ad. I mean, almost anyone can nowadays. So it's like, how how organic can that video feel? How real can it actually feel? The content we're creating now versus 6 months ago versus a year ago, it's so different. What we're seeing perform right now is like testimonial style. Like the creators actually speaking with real experience, right? So it's always changing, but my broad answer is like, I want to see how AI incorporates into the whole experience because I think that'd be super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of happening now, but do you see AI generated influencers being a big part of the future?
Yeah. I'd like to say no. I'd like to say yes and no. When the first like when this first started popping up, this is like January, February, Marchish time. I was a little scared. I was like, oh, okay, well, now there's AI UGC where they get at a fraction of the cost. So it's like, why wouldn't they just do that? And like, obviously, we were seeing all the previews to what it was looking like before they could actually be created, and it looked amazing. I was like, okay, this is great. When it actually came out, it obviously got a lot of backlash, which weirdly enough, well, not weirdly because it makes sense. Weirdly, it made us actually it actually worked out in our favor because brands would be like, "Oh, everyone can tell this is AI content. It doesn't look good. So now we need more real content. We want to work with real creators." So it actually made us look a lot better. I don't think it's done though. I really think it will have its comeback. I really do believe there will be a time where we can't tell. Like I don't know, like for
Mhm.
example, the bunny video. I don't know if you saw that where the bunnies are jumping on the trampoline, and almost everyone thought it blew up on TikTok. Everyone thought it was AI. I mean, everyone thought it was real, but it was AI, and everyone found out like a couple of days later. So it's like it will continue to improve. It just needs time. And I'm curious to see what happens when time is given. But I do think at the end of the day, people resonate with people, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think brands are gonna take the risk to like make that fake AI person. I just don't see that happening. So I don't think it'll be a threat to what we're doing, but I do think it'll be complementary in some ways.
Right. I mean, if you're pitching authenticity and you have an AI generated, spokesman,
Yeah,
something's not fitting right there.
it's not. Yeah,
I want to learn about your thoughts on being a student while you're
yeah,
founding and running a company. I mean, you're literally in college right now.
I am.
You're planning on like,
Yeah,
what's that like?
it's hard. When I first transferred, so when I was doing community college, it was easy. You could also make the argument Vidovo wasn't busy enough. We're still fairly new. Transferred in last spring. It was all right to deal with. It was like, okay, this is a little not tough, but I can do it. Our business has doubled since spring, right? I think it almost tripled, right? So it's like now it's like I'm bouncing from class to meeting to class to meeting. And it's like, okay, well, now I'm hungry and I'm starving and my stomach is literally growling in class. But I can't go eat after because I have another meeting or I have another class. It's like, it's the simplest way to put it. It consumes a lot of time. I was away all of last week in Bentonville, Arkansas. I got so much work done because I wasn't in school. I feel like majority of my professors understand that like, hey, this I haven't told them all what I'm doing, but I said like, hey, I'm gonna be out for the week. By the way, I'm gonna be at a conference. I run this company for context, so you can know why I'm gonna be gone. One of them I actually lied to. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be sick. I actually regret lying because I'm like, she was the first one I emailed. I'm like, I should have just told her. So why wouldn't the professor want to be open and to helping on that? But more so, it is tough. It is really hard. But complaining about it's not going to do anything. I just have to work an extra hour. So for example, I have class in 20 minutes for now. So it's like I need to like that class will be an hour long. So I'm just buying back that hour after 5, 6 p.m. Like I'm just adding on hours to my night. So I'm typically working pretty much 8 to 12 every single day. Because I'm never stopping. The beauty of it is I get tired very easily, so I can sleep, which is great. Like I can sleep good, but I don't know. It's a lot, and I think the other day I almost contemplating like, man, I should just drop out. Like, what am I doing? And then I'll never forget. I made a promise to my mother, like, I'm gonna finish school. I'm gonna finish school, and I'm a man of my word. I can't drop out, especially. And I say stuff like that, but I won't actually because I have
Really?
6 months left of school. It's my last year, so dropping out isn't probably the smartest thing. And the worst part about it, my classes are very easy, but that makes it worse for me because it's like it makes me think like, what am I doing here? Like, I can just chat GBT everything, which I am, right? It's very easy work, and I don't want to discredit school. Anti and pro school in many ways, but it's just something I'm dealing with. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm counting down the clock to when I can graduate and just like finally be fully dedicated to Vidovo, which I still am. I actually say I'm full-time Vidovo, part-time school, which is funny because I'm full-time both, right? But it's something I'm just handling at the time.
Well, I'm anti and pro many things,
Yeah.
and it depends on the moment. Obviously, you made a promise to your mom, so if you make a promise to your mom, keep it. You're a good son.
Yep.
But for other people, or maybe who didn't make similar process promises, what do you think is the purpose to college these days?
I personally believe I don't think people are receiving the value they're paying for, which I call a
Yeah.
scam.
Mhm.
That's just my definition of it. You're paying X amount of dollars for X degree and at a chance of X job or maybe no job at all. That's just my personal opinion. I truly believe for my situation, the pros outweighed the cons when I made the decision to go into university. Right now, I'm kind of iffy on like, did the pros really outweigh it? The reason I thought at that time, I can be a very calculated individual at times. I knew, okay, I went from going from the real world to college back to the real world. That's how my life is going to play out, basically. And the biggest thing I learned in the real world, it's a game of relationships and connections.
Mhm.
So I knew, like, if I can go into college and just focus on networking, because I'm social and just in general, so like I can just make friends, meet more marketing. I'm literally a marketing major on purpose. If I was to choose my actual major, probably wouldn't be marketing. But how many marketers can I meet? How many marketers can I befriend? How many marketers can I teach something? How many marketers can I help get an internship? How many marketers can I provide value to? Because 3 to 5 years from now, you never know what one individual might pay back for all the money I'm spending this year, which is thankfully it's not a lot for all the money I'm spending this year. One individual could, bring me a deal, bring me a partnership.
Mhm.
I can help them there's a lot that could play out of it. So I came here with the intent to make friends and the intent to network and the intent to provide value, playing the long-term game. I'm not expecting anything within the next year or two or three, but it's more like, let me just provide value to you. And even at the end of the day, if I don't, or if nothing comes out of it, at least I was being a good person. At least I had a good intent to like help people out. Like, cause I kid you not, whenever someone asks anything about what I do, UGC influencer business, I will sit there for 20, 30 minutes, just like word salad them. No, a lot of value and just help out in any way I can. So I would say, to answer your question, I would say do what's best for you. If I had the option to drop out right now and it wouldn't affect anything for the rest of my life, I would do it in a heartbeat. Do I think it
Mhm.
would? If I did, it probably wouldn't affect anything I'm doing. But I'm just so deep into this process. I went through so much BS through community college and this. Like I just have to finish and I have to get it for my mom. But I am doing my best to meet as many people as I can. And I think it'll play out in my favor that way.
I'm confident it will. I know you have class, so we'll be respectful of your time. What have you done professionally that you're most proud of?
That's a good question. This I could obviously speak to like case studies and what we've done for brands, but I want to speak to something a little bit different that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but it's the actual creators. I think in our industry, in the creator economy, like yes, the brands get all the credit, the ad crushes, Super Bowl, whatever it is, but it's like the creators are the cornerstone to all of this. I mean, they get wiped. There's almost nothing for us. Nothing makes me happier than every Thursday or Friday. I don't, it depends on the week, when I get to go out and actually pay out our creators for their work. Nothing makes me happier knowing I can actually provide to other families when I get to pay out that mother. When I have a mother on our platform email me saying like, I kid you, I had a mother email me saying like, hey, I have this bill that's really tight. I don't have the cash right now. I know we have to wait 2 weeks for our payouts. Is there any way I can get it earlier? Done, just like that. I love helping other individuals. I just love it. I love solving problems. And I think my thing that makes me the happiest, and I think is most one of my biggest accomplishments, being able to pay them out for their works and know I'm providing for families. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like I said, I can throw so many buzzwords that you say, "Wait, we did this for that brand, we did that for that brand." But it's like, to me, it's like that genuinely makes me happy knowing we're providing for others.
That makes a lot of sense. And what are you most optimistic about?
I would say I'd like to say the creator economy. I think it's just going to continue to grow. The reason why I'm so optimistic is because when I got in, no one really understood what UGC was, because I would have to sell UGC and then also sell
Mhm.
our platform. Nowadays, it's like I'm just selling the platform. Everyone understands the importance. So to me, that shows growth in the industry. And I think we'll just continue to grow, and every brand's going to understand that content at the end of the day is king. So I'm very optimistic about content in general, whether it's video, whether it's written. Like I do think people need to put themselves out there because that's the way we're moving forward, especially with AI coming out and Gen Alpha is going to grow up on AI. We need to focus on things that can actually resonate with other individuals, which I think you can do through content, and it's free. So most of the time. So that's what I would say.
Well, Elijah, where can people learn more about you? Vidovo, they might have a lot of money they need to get rid of. Where can we find all these people?
Yeah, you could find me on LinkedIn, just Elijah Khasabo. You could also go on vidovo.com, vidovo.com. And my email is elijah@vidovo.com as well. So those are like the three main areas you could find me. I'm also lightly on Twitter, but not too much. I'm more of a LinkedIn and email person. So that's those are the best spots.
That's probably why you're a well-balanced, healthy person.
I go on there. It's like 30 wars at once. It's too much. I only go on there like when I'm not working. I'm like, okay, what can I laugh at today?
Right, right.
Yeah, those are LinkedIn, Twitter, email. Those are ways you can find me. I'd recommend LinkedIn and email because I don't really look at my Twitter DMs as much as I should. Of
Sounds good. Well, Elijah, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
course, it was a pleasure, man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Matt Balaker Podcast. To learn more, please check out mattbalaker.com and encourage your friends to like, subscribe, and share. Really appreciate it.